Let's welcome Amy Chase. Amy!
What a thrill to be on this stage. So recently I've noticed a disturbing trend when people compliment me. They say, "You look good." And I'm like, "Thank you." And then they say, "For your age." And I say, "Fuck you." How do you go from thank you to fuck you in 15 seconds? By adding a caveat and why I look good. Come on. So, I started thinking, I've hit the big 5'1". I've gone over that hurdle. And, yeah, I'm proud of it. Things are still kind of where they're supposed to be in the general themes. But I did have a boob job. Because here's my story, my sad story of my tits. If my body were North America, my boobs started in Toronto, okay? At age 12, they came out. Bam! C-cups, overnight. 14-year-old boys never made eye contact with me. They would talk to my tits like they were trying to order a hand job at the McDonald's drive-thru. They were gorgeous. So teens, 20s, they're right where they're supposed to be. They're large and in charge, and all of a sudden at 30, I push a kid out, and those suckers get in the car, and they start heading down the lower 48. They're stopping at every diner. They're getting stoned. They're sleeping with truckers. It's getting really, really horrible. Yeah, we've all been there. So then they go south of the border. Where do they end up? Where we all end up, drunk and sloppy in Tijuana. Groping strippers, drinking Tecate at a donkey show, So I said, that's it. You guys are coming back up. You started to see, you're double J's. Double J's. I never saw my feet. I couldn't even have shoes that tied. So I hired this guy who was the Botticelli of boobies, the Matisse of the mammary, and he was going to fix my tits for me. He was going to drive them up north, he was going to jack them up, and he was going to shrink those sons of bitches down. Well, he did so. We had a little problem with the lazy nipple that was kind of like a disturbing lazy eye, but he and I worked it out. I was just trying to stand like this for a while, and we got it done. But then he says, "You know what? You've been so great. I want to do something else for you." And I thought, oh God, not a gateway drug. Like I'm not getting ass inserts or anything like that. And he says, "No, I'm going to tighten your vagina." How does he know my vagina's loose? Like, how long was I under? What the fuck was this doctor doing to me? Really? So I said, "Listen, you son of a bitch." It was pretty tight when I came in. I mean, I didn't feel anything knocking around. I never had any complaints. I had my car serviced 2 weeks ago, right? I had my alignment done. I drive 2 miles away, my check engine light goes on. I'm like, you're trying to pull that same shit with me. Like, I said, "But did you store all your surgical instruments up in there when you were working on my rack? Or, can you give me a little bit about what you did?" So he said, "I'm going to give you the vagina of a 16-year-old. I said, "Oh my God, no, that's so creepy. Like, is that the industry standard?" Because my vagina at 16 was not a happy vagina. It was lonely, it was confused, it didn't know what it wanted. My vagina at 26, now that's a vagina you can get behind. That's a vagina that had some fucking good times. Thank you. So I said, you know what? I don't have great vaginal expectations at 51. I don't want to stop a bullet. I don't want to crack walnuts around the Christmas fire. I don't need to open jars for the old lady next door. Here's what I want to do. I want my vagina to give a nice, warm handshake to those it meets, a firm handshake, instead of a sloppy high five. So I said, you know what? I really think you're like the Salvador Dali of D-cups. I'm not interested. I'm going on the interwebs. And I found the magical world of kegling. Does everyone know, ladies, do you know what this is? Yeah, this is how you keep your pelvic floor tight. what you do is it's an exercise where you pretend like you're peeing and you squeeze your vagina to stop the flow of urine. And I started reading about this and I'm like, fuck, ever since I had a kid, that's every minute for me of every day. Like, I could be on the Olympic kegling team, getting gold. Because this is me. I laugh, I pee, I fart, I pee. God forbid I'm at the gym and I have to do jumping jacks because I have to bring out a mop afterwards. So, so I've started kegling in the car to save some time. So I'm at traffic lights and I start kegling and I get my shoulders all squinchy and I kegel. And then I start doing my mouth exercises because you can do these exercises where you do vowels. A, E, I, O, U. And it tightens your face, ladies and gentlemen. It would work for you too. So I'm kegling and I'm A, E, I, O, U-ing. And I'm like, oh shit, there's more gray hair. And I'm pulling it out and I'm throwing it out the window. And I look over and the guy in the next lane has his cell phone pulled up. And he's got 911 on it, and he's looking at me, and he's going, "What the fuck, Judy? Are you having a stroke, ma'am?" "No, sir. I'm just tightening my vagina." So after you get the infrastructure ready, you really want to take a look at your vagina, but don't look directly at your vagina, ever. You are not Dorothy. You don't want to see the Wizard of Oz. It is horrific. Your labia are like the meat curtains on a Chamber of Horrors ride. You just can't unsee it. You have to treat your vagina. You have to look at it like you're looking at a solar eclipse. So what you want to do is you want to dim all the lights in the room, maybe put on some sunglasses, poke a little hole in a shoebox, get a hand mirror, and then just kind of graze it slowly. Very slowly. You need to kind of play a game of cat and mouse with your own pussy, if you will. Now, I'm in the process of selling a house that I inherited, and I'm learning that it's all about the curb appeal, right? So I'm thinking I can use a little curb appeal in my vagina. They say it's sold on the drive-by, right? I'm going to use the same principles as I'm using to sell this goddamn house that's been on the market forever. And, when it's done, I don't want to have an open house. I had open houses in my 20s, and they were a lot of fun. But now I'm just kind of, wanting to show it by appointment only to those, that are in my price range and things like that. So in that same vein, here we go. Topiary bushes out in front of homes sell like crazy. Pubic areas these days, you either need to be bald like a chihuahua or have some kind of whimsical, trendy design. So, following me? Topiary bushes. Here's what we do, 2 ideas. First one, everyone know what a Rorschach ink blot is? Okay, I was a psych minor. So it's when you go to a shrink's office and they give you a card and it has a little blob and they say, what does that blob look like to you? Well, that's what I'm going to do with my pubic hair. And if someone says, that blob looks like a unicorn, I'll be like, come on in, the water's fine. If they say it looks like a swastika, they get nothing from me. Finally, one last idea for a pubic topiary. Crop circle. Everyone loves the X-Files, right? Put a little crop circle down there, your own Roswell, your own Area 51. Your lover will be looking for those aliens forever. And you tell them, the truth is not out there. The truth is in here. Thank you so much.